Now let's take a little closer look at the construction of an XSD or an XML schema document. What I want to talk about here are the elements that we use to code up the schema in the XSL format. And the best way to describe this is that these statements are the XSD version of the DTD element declaration. So if you remember back in previous videos when we built the DTD and we used those element declarations, this is kind of the XML schema version of that. You will see a lot of the XSD :element tag, and we'll talk about this XSD : portion of this later. That's a namespace. Then you'll see the name word and equal sign, and then the actual tag name that this particular section of code is referring to. And I'll show you an example in just a minute, but there's the syntax for that. Now, what's real interesting, the power of the XML schemas is that you get a lot of control over pretty much everything in the document. You will see the XSD complex type tag, and this tells the parser or tells the validator that, hey, we're going into a more complex relationship after this tag. XSD sequence, and this is how we determine what order certain tags should be in. We put them inside a sequence tag. Then there's even an XSD pattern, and we won't go into this in the course, but I just want to tip you off on this. Those of you who are familiar with regular expressions, that is exactly what this is. It's the ability to use regular expressions inside your XML documents or your XSD documents to make sure that when you're validating an XML document, for example, you can look for a telephone number by looking for a pattern or an email address, anything like that. So again, a lot of power here, a lot of possibilities. So with that, let's go out and look at an XSD document, and I want to show you an example of some of these. Okay, now what I've got here is an XSD document that I generated. I didn't build this by hand, and we'll talk about that. That's actually the subject of the next video. But I want you to notice some of the things that are in here. First, you'll notice here's the XSD element name, and this was generated by a Microsoft application. So you see some Microsoft stuff in here, but still we can read this apart from the Microsoft. Notice the XSD element name is people. Now I'm using that people XML document. Let me pull that up. Okay, and here it is. Now here's the people XML document right here on the screen. And notice, see the husband tag, and notice this is the root tag people, and XSD element name people. And then you'll come on down and you'll notice we open them with a complex type. And this is telling it that there are some scenarios here that involve a complex relationship. Then notice there's an XSD choice. You'll see that we won't talk about it here, but again, go out and do some research on this. Notice XSD element name, the next one is husband. Then inside a complex type, there's a sequence of other tags. And notice there's name, age, and wife. Let me bring the other document back up. And you'll notice under husband, you have name, age, and wife. Then, if you'll notice, we start another sequence. And this is under wife here. After wife, we start another sequence, W name and age. So under wife, we have W name and age. And so you see how this is setting up. Now notice we are setting under here minimum occurrences of name, minimum occurrences of age, maximum occurrences, minimum occurrences. So you can see the kind of detail you can go to and the kind of granular control you have over your XML document and what it should contain. Now in the next video, I'll show you how I created this XSD document and kind of give you a hint on some other things that you can do to build your own.